A snowstorm is set to hit the Midwest today and continue through the weekend, and then it'll head east and create traffic headaches there.
St. Louis is expected to get 5 to 8 inches of snow this weekend, so road crews were out in full force preparing yesterday. CBS News weather producer David Parkinson is here with more on what we can expect from the storm. So, David, what can people expect in the Midwest? Which areas will be hit the hardest?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is really the first big storm of the new year in terms of a 1,500-mile stretch. So it is currently snowing in the Denver area. You can see it on the radar, but it's going to stretch all the way to Washington, D.C., and it's going to be a very stretched out storm. So it's not going to really be time delayed. It'll be snowing in the East Coast when it's snowing in the Midwest. But in terms of how we're looking at the timing of this storm going on, it's during the afternoon and evening hours tonight that we've really got to be concerned about the St. Louis area, people heading home from work. Look, if you leave work late in St. Louis, it's going to be a mess on the road. The snow will be coming down at 1 inch or 2 per hour. So when it's all said and done, there'll be a pretty decent amount of snow on the ground. As we move into Saturday, yeah, that storm starts to move east a little bit. It's still snowing in St. Louis, but then the snow starts to make its way into the East Coast. So as we watch it there, you can see the rain extends to the south, but the snow then transfers to Virginia. Places like Roanoke, Virginia, Richmond, Charlottesville, into the D.C. area, that's where you're going to be seeing the most snow. And then we're watching for icing in the mountains of North Carolina as well. But the storm finally makes its way out by Monday. That's the good news. So your Monday morning commute should be fine. You're just shoveling out. And here in New York, we're not seeing much snow. But in terms of the snowfall totals, it's a foot of snow that's possible in the St. Louis area. So 5 to 8 is the most likely. But we could see up to a foot. That's what some of the models are projecting. That would be in the top 10 snowfalls ever in St. Louis. And then we're looking at less than a half a foot in the D.C. metro area.
Wow. And some storms on the West Coast as well.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing about this storm system. So we've got all this snow in the East Coast. Roanoke, Virginia, for example, has had more snow than Boston. In fact, Boston's only had 0.2 of an inch of snow all year. But in the West Coast, it's the opposite problem. They've just been getting hit week after week after week. So in terms of how this happens with the storm system, for some strange reason, the radar's not populating there. There we go. So you can see Saturday morning, it's raining from San Francisco all the way down to L.A. And then as we move through the week, we get another round of storm after another round of storm after another round of storm. So there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday, there's Thursday, there's Friday, there's Saturday. It just keeps raining and snowing. So when it's all said and done, the next 10 days, there will be rain every single day of the week in San Francisco, and in L.A., they will get double the rain they had last year in 10 days and 2/3 of their annual total. It's a real concern for mudslides, particularly as we get into the middle and end of next week. We've got to watch that out.
Liquid sunshine?
I'm looking forward to June 21st. That's all
Positive?
I'm thinking about.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's cold here in the East. I mean, it was cold here right now. It's going to be even colder this weekend. But all in all, here in New York, we had that one freak snowstorm, and that's been pretty calm.
Yeah,
so I know you don't like shoveling and all that, so don't complain.
Yes, exactly. I should not, because it's been, although it's cold, but it's been relatively snow-free. Thanks, David.
Sure thing.